Reach high, aim high, and obtain. To prepare for what I'm going to be doing with you today, I have 1.5 cups of my ultimate half and half probiotic yogurt. You can also use any of my other yogurts or even my sour cream, or you can use store-bought, but I will acknowledge that if you do homemade, you're going to get more probiotic benefits than store-bought. So I do suggest to make your own yogurt, and I do have multiple videos on there on the different types I've done. Over here I have 1.5 cups of filtered warm water, ideally about 105 degrees in temperature, to which I added 2 teaspoons of organic 100% pure maple syrup in a glass jar, and then to that I added 1 package of this organic instant yeast and let it sit. And by it sitting, it has created this much foam out of the initial 1.5 cups of liquid that I started with. So I've purposely had these sitting out at room temperature. I've had it out in order for it to reach the needed state that I need, which is room temperature for the yogurt and for my yeast, for it to actually begin creating the growth and the fabulous benefits that we're going to use to create this wonderful recipe. So we're going to put that to the side for next steps. To my bowl here, I've added a strainer, which I'm going to use as a sifter. And I've got 3 teaspoons of Celtic salt. You can also use pink Himalayan or another quality salt. The important is you want to use a quality salt. And to that, I'm going to add 3 cups of organic almond flour and 3 cups of organic arrowroot flour as well. After sifting all of our dry ingredients, we are going to whisk all that together. Take 1/2 cup of organic coconut sugar, and we are going to put that in my food processor that comes with my Bamic so that we can pulverize it and create more of a powdery consistency for next steps to occur. Add the processed sugar to the chosen yogurt or dairy medium. Then we're going to use the food processor again to add 3 tablespoons of organic chia seeds, 3 tablespoons optional of organic milk thistle, and then 2 tablespoons of organic Psyllium Husk Powder. I do recommend, if you are new to milk thistle, take it slow and then increase. So start with about a teaspoon, and then as your body adjusts to it, then you can increase as time goes on. And then we're going to food process that again with my little Bamix container so that we can then do next steps. Utilizing the active yeast water that we made previously, we are now going to add that to our chosen dairy or yogurt and coconut sugar container. I like to use my 4-cup container here from Pyrex, that's glass, because it makes it so much easier to just bring everything together. Once we have that well whisked together, then we're going to add in the powdered ingredients we just made of the chia seed, milk thistle, and psyllium husk to create one of the needed pieces for next steps to ultimately create the dough or the bread for our cinnamon rolls. After 10 minutes of letting the wet ingredients sit, add them now to the dry ingredients, and we are going to bring everything together here, as you can see me doing in the bowl, to ultimately create the finished dough product. On your rolling out work surface, you will need to put down a dusting of arrowroot flour to prevent the dough from sticking. And then once that has taken place, then we can put the dough down, put a dusting on top of the dough of our arrowroot flour again, and then as we work the dough, we will have to add additional arrowroot to prevent it sticking to the rolling pin. I personally love to use my mom's marble rolling pin because it has a natural weight to it that a lot of standard rolling pins don't, so it makes this whole process so much easier and quicker for me. To create the filling, we're going to begin with 1/4 cup of organic salt-free butter at room temperature, with room temperature being the key factor to make this work. In the event you want to use all of the dough to make the standard approach, you will need to double that and make it 1/2 cup of the organic salt-free butter at room temperature. Next, we're going to do 1/4 cup of organic raw honey. Again, if doing the full recipe, you would want to increase it to do 1/2 cup of organic raw honey. Add 1 tablespoon of organic cinnamon powder. If doing the full recipe, that's 2 tablespoons. And then we're going to whisk everything together to create our filling that we will then apply to the dough we've just rolled out. If doing both versions of this recipe, you will then want to cut the dough in half and then begin the process of rolling it up. I suggest rolling it the same length that it was actually using the rolling pin rolled out, because I found out that you will get more cinnamon rolls that way. Then take the pan that you're going to use that's been preheated in the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, place it on top of a trivet, and both on top of your work surface, and then lightly dust with organic arrowroot flour to prevent sticking. And then as you place the cinnamon rolls, as you can see here on top of the pan, it will actually begin cooking. You can actually hear it starting to hiss from the fact that it's pre-cooking. Then place it in the oven, 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. 20 minutes later. So now they are done, and we're just gonna let them cool down. But I think I got an excited consumer here. I haven't glazed them or anything yet, but if you want to have it, I mean, that's fine.
Well, I want it glazed.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna let them cool down, and then we'll do next steps. Combine 4 tablespoons of organic salt-free butter at room temperature, 4 ounces of organic cream cheese at room temperature, 1/2 tablespoon of organic vanilla extract, and 1/2 cup of organic raw honey together using either an immersion blender or an electric hand mixer. And if doing the full amount of dough, you will need to double all of those ingredients to ensure the needed topping results and amount to create the cinnamon rolls. I'm going to apply the cream topping to our cooled down cinnamon rolls. If they haven't cooled down before the cream topping is applied, it will actually dilute the topping and you won't get that wonderful glazing look that you see in commercial type cinnamon rolls. Very critical step here to finish your product. Then here's the results visually, followed by our consumers giving us their awesome feedback of the results.
It looks good, I know that. That is delicious.
Yeah?
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's good.
Now we're going to address the approach for migraineurs and everyone to enjoy. For the filling, begin with half a cup of organic salt-free butter at room temperature, followed by half a cup of organic coconut sugar, and then 1 tablespoon of organic cinnamon powder to start with. If you're doing the full dough amount, then you will need to double all of those ingredients. If you would like something a little bit more usable spread-wise, similar to the honey, you may want to even increase it just a little bit further, just to make it easier to apply to the dough, and for those that may actually want a little bit of a more rich cinnamon coated flavor, that'd be perfectly fine. Now here you can see I'm actually splitting the dough because I've got people that like both versions. So after I rolled up the first version with the honey base, this is me actually doing next steps that's specifically just for addressing the coconut sugar approach, that's specifically for migraineurs and everyone to enjoy at the half amount. And you can see here, it's not as pliable as the honey, so it will take some time to actually apply the filling to the entire dough. There's just, because honey is obviously a liquid medium, whereas the coconut sugar is a very solid medium, it does make a difference for the application. That's why I'm mentioning you may want to do even more of an increase, but I found this works really great at the amount I've given you. It's just you're going to have to take the time and care to actually spread it. But if you do, the result will be fabulous and delicious. And everyone loves these. It doesn't matter if they're getting the honey version or the coconut sugar version. They enjoy them, and it's a wonderful treat to have either as a breakfast item or as a finish for desserts. It's absolutely delicious. Here you can see I'm doing the roll up process, and this is where I did the approach of actually doing it the same length as what I did the rollout, which makes a critical difference, as I ended up having a lot more cinnamon rolls doing this approach. Remember to use a preheated pan at the 425 degrees Fahrenheit, dusted with Organic Arrowroot before placing the cinnamon rolls on the pan for cooking. Most critical to prevent any sticking and to ensure it immediately starts doing a little bit of cooking, to ensure that 20 minutes is the exact amount of time that is needed in order to do finished steps. Ensure that a trivet is used under the preheated pan to prevent any counter damage, and also to ensure that you've created a safe work surface to do these next steps, as the pan is extremely hot at the 425 degree Fahrenheit. I've also found that about 1 inch in size for the cinnamon rolls creates the perfect result of a standard cinnamon roll that one would find commercially, but the difference is these are homemade, you know what's in them, and they are absolutely delicious. Place the pan of rolls into the 425 Fahrenheit or 219 Celsius degree preheated oven to cook for 20 minutes. Oh, those look done. And beautiful too, huh? Those look done too. Now we're going to let them cool, and then we will do the toppings next. Let's combine 4 tablespoons of organic salt-free butter at room temperature, 4 ounces of organic cream cheese at room temperature, half a tablespoon of organic vanilla extract, and half a cup of organic coconut sugar. If doing the full amount of the dough, you will need to, again, double these ingredients to have enough topping to cover all the cinnamon rolls. Use an immersion blender or electric hand mixer to bring all the ingredients for the topping together and get fabulous creamy results that we will then place on top of our cooled cinnamon rolls for the finished product results. Use an offset spatula to apply and evenly spread all of the cream topping on top of our fabulous cinnamon rolls for final product results, followed by the best part, delicious enjoyment by all. This is the 100% coconut sugar one. What do you think?
I'm not sure. That might be better than the other one.
You think?
I'm trying to determine.
In other words, they're both quality
I'm
desserts.
gonna have to eat 2 or 3 more to find out. I know it takes time to determine what you determine. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Especially when it's good, huh? So in other words, it doesn't matter which one you do, they'll both be delicious. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Here's a visual example of the full batch approach using coconut sugar that everyone can enjoy. And you can see that it is quite pliable and it makes an awesome large finished roll. So this is my trivet and this is the brand, and basically I've got the whole thing open so that I can easily put my preheated 425 degree Fahrenheit pan directly on this, because this is supposed to go up to 475 degrees safely without any issue. And I love this because it also collapses down. So I'm going to grab the pan so that we can do this next steps. Lay the pan down there. And then I'm going to grab my shaker that I adapted for myself, which is working out just so awesome. And this is to prevent any sticking. Okay, I think that's good. And then we're gonna start cutting our pan. So I'm gonna do my best to do a 1 inch. I kind of rolled it at an angle. So I'm doing about a 1 inch. Just needed to get those sides taken care of. Now I'll come over here just to make it easier. So we're doing about a 1 inch. And then we're gonna place it. And by doing the 1 inch at the 20 minutes, it will make it perfect. To make this whole process faster, I suggest cutting the full roll in its entirety, then placing the preheated pan on the countertop, dusting with arrowroot, and then putting the rolls on the pan, as it will reduce the cooling time on the pan as well as make everything go faster. Place the pan of cinnamon rolls into the preheated oven of 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 219 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Set the timer, and then we will come back in 20 minutes. Okay, so let's turn it off. Isn't that beautiful?
Look at that.
Okay, I'm going to put it on our trivet here to cool down. And then once they're cool, we will ice.
Every single person who watches this video has the power to change someone else's life today. Subscribing to TaylorIt takes 1 second, but creates a ripple that reaches people across the entire world. Hit like, share this with someone who needs it, And drop your location in the comments because seeing where our community reaches genuinely excites us. Together, we are building something real. Join us and help others find this too.